The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the show. This one is brought to you by Levi Solicitors, who will give you a 10% discount on your legal fees at levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. Rob's here, as well as Michael, who I will hand you to now to say something that Levi Solicitors have asked us to tell you about.
It's their 90th birthday.
Today?
Well, like this year.
All year.
Making a big deal of it, actually, dragging it out.
Yeah.
We all have birthdays, don't we? God. But 90 years, that's quite a while.
How old are you this year?
40 years old.
Are you making a big deal out of it this year?
No, not really.
No.
Low key.
You're banging on about it all year?
It's slap bang in the middle of the fucking playoffs, isn't it? No, I'll be having a little cry, probably. On many fronts.
We've gone a bit off message here
a little
in terms
bit,
of
yeah.
Levi's. Yeah.
Sorry, Levi's, yeah.
It's not often you get to drop an F-bomb in a commercial read with one of your commercial partners, but here we are.
It's Leeds United's fault. Blame those guys.
Yeah.
They've driven me to it. But no, it's their 90th birthday. They're doing lots of fundraising. As I do myself, don't like to talk about my own charity work.
Yeah,
but they're doing lots of fundraising too for St Gemma's Hospice, Yorkshire Children's Charity, and Homeless Street Angels.
Good on them. Well done.
But you can also just speak to them about wills, probate, and conveyancing, if that's what you'd prefer to do.
And the other things that they do beyond
Obviously.
those three. I know you like to play the hits when you do this read. levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball for full details. Thank you very much. Right then, Rob, it's time to throw you under the bus because last week and you under no duress, we said to you, are we going to do it? You said yes. And look what happened.
You bullied me into that. I'm going to say, I mean, it is what I thought, I must admit, but I didn't want to say it until you forced me to and said I'd be sacked if I didn't.
Is that right?
That's how I
don't remember it playing out like that.
You've threatened me with sacking that often.
If
it always blows into one.
If only there was a recording somewhere that we could check.
You haven't seen what he edited out. But yeah, I did think we were going to do it. And then after QPR, I thought, what a fucking idiot you are. But, it's fine, isn't it? The playoffs are exciting.
Oh, do you know what is fun? Because you'll be at Ellen Road, won't you, for the second leg? What's happening on that day?
I will, yeah. My girlfriend is delighted. It's her 30th birthday. And I've said, cool, we can go to Ellen Road and watch a nice, exciting playoff game. It'll be fun.
How did that go down?
She's not too impressed, but I'm just glad it isn't the day after because I would have been away on the East Coast for that and would have been trying to convince her that me driving back to Ellen Road to go back to the East Coast is perfectly acceptable, which isn't.
It's the playoffs then,
And you'd be returning in such a jubilant mood as well, wouldn't you?
Playoffs then?
Probably, yeah.
I mean,
Basically, it's not Leeds United's fault. This is Coventry's fault. If only they'd done the decent thing and won the other night.
yeah, they should have rolled over against us and then
Correct.
won against Ipswich. They should have done it that way
They've
around.
taken loads of points off us this year, Coventry,
Yeah.
haven't they?
Selfish.
So,
Did you watch it?
no.
Yes.
I watched 8 minutes of it, saw Ipswich score, just thought, no need. And then by the time I'd checked my phone again, it was basically full time and they'd won. So I didn't even get the nice bit of hope when Coventry equalised.
Yeah, I was driven by FOMO, really. I knew it was going on. I was like, I might as well put myself through it. I might as well watch it and just see how it unfolds. Mm-hmm. But then, I mean, the nano millisecond that the referee blew his full-time whistle, I turned the channel over. I keyed in 2 numbers, getting ready. I keyed in the 3rd channel number.
Didn't even get to his 3rd peep of his whistle. You was like, go on, fuck off.
I'm not listening to fucking Gary Weaver on Sky Sports waxing lyrical about whatever pre-written lines he had ready.
If ever I watch a scum game, that's always what happens. If they've lost, that it gets switched off like the second. Particularly if it's a final or something, if they've won it, I'm watching the rest of that.
Leicester are champions. They've been rubbing our noses in it. And as we've just recorded with Phil prior to this, which will be out afterwards, but we're saying, like, fair enough, you know what? Make hay while the sun shines and all that. You have got up by cheating. So you can chuck all your medals in the bin and so on and so forth. But it's hard to begrudge Ipswich if they, assuming they do it. And it isn't the miracle outcome. Fair enough, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, with the Leicester stuff, yeah, it's fair enough. They're entitled to do it. But you've got to remember when we do it, what do you want when we're doing it? What's the main thing you're looking for? It's people being furious about it.
Yeah.
And taking the bait. You can just
not.
ignore it completely. That's the best way of dealing with it. Same with all your problems. Just ignore it.
It is quite nice how they've taken our bait in a way, though. I feel like they've had their promotion thrills sort of living vicariously through us because until we seemingly riled and upset them by beating them at Ellen Road in February. They were just sort of happily bobbing along, 17 points clear. Didn't seem to be particularly happy about the manager even then. And then they've we reeled them in, and that gave them a bit of fun at the end of the season. Yeah, they should be thanking us.
Have we become their baddie, their villain? We've kind of come to personify the thing. I don't know.
I mean, like I say, it's just nice to know that we did rile them a little bit. I think it's fair enough.
There's no sort of beef there, is there at all?
No, it's like Villa the other year though, when that all got a little bit tetchy, isn't it? It's just you find sort of an enemy to focus on, but it was never them. It was great when we beat them because bloody hell, symbolically to reel them back in all these points and a proper 6-pointer to have beaten them, and we had a great time at Ellen Road that night.
Not since.
It must have been a good atmosphere, given they keep singing about it, though.
Yeah, it's true. I think it's weird, though, isn't it, with the way these things turn around? Because I was thinking about when we, well, 2 seasons under Bielsa trying to get up, how the first year it's all doom and gloom because you're like, oh, Christ, we've blown this, and Sheffield United have gone up, and Norwich have gone up, and Derby have beaten us, and then you move it a year on, and Norwich are already on the way back down, and Derby are giving us the guard of honour and about to have a season off, dropping into League One. Like things change, don't they?
Yeah, and we know that there is something coming down the track. It's a train coming down the track for Leicester. So I suppose you have got to enjoy these moments when they come because
of course you have.
Yeah, because it's a trophy. It's a thing you've won, isn't it? Even if it is just a filthy trophy that you're not entitled to because you've cheated and so on. I'm joking. Whatever. Have fun. Enjoy it. But yeah,
Ipswich
but there is misery coming down the road. But like for Ipswich, this is as good as it gets. And I think that's what's kind of tempered all the disappointment a little bit. Is you said on the show with Phil, Premier League garbage, isn't it?
Getting up is the best bit.
Yeah. Like this moment right now, yeah.
Because next year they're just going to have to watch Sam Morsey in the Premier League, and it's going to be difficult for them.
Yeah.
But you can't begrudge them it now because you'll be like, well, something amazing. Well done, I suppose.
Yeah. I did write in the Daily Email, well done Ipswich. I hope you have an awful time in the Premier League. I mean, you look at the direction that they've gone in, you do sort of have to doff your cap a little bit because at the end of Bielsa's first season, when we went there and lost, but they were relegated, weren't they? Mm. And then for them to be seemingly leapfrogging us this year, you think, bloody hell, after back-to-back promotions. And I think, like, I was listening to a few podcasts at the start of the season, and there were a few people tipping them to go back-to-back, but to do it, given the pace that us and Leicester have set, you do have to go, fucking hell.
Yeah, they just found a way to win, and they just carry momentum through. You can't begrudge that as well, and they've not done it with anywhere near the finances available to them that others have. They've been effective, haven't they, I suppose? So it's like I say, I don't have to like it, and don't have to,
Why do we not
get all excited about it? But it's like
Ipswich at all?
Well, because they're inoffensive. They've done nothing to transgress us really at any point. I don't think.
No, I don't suppose. I suppose their like glory era was very separate to ours, wasn't it? So we never had. I feel like we've never had like big battles against Ipswich where we've been like up for the same league position or whatever until this year.
The Ian Westlake derby just doesn't really cut it, does it?
No, not really.
And I know McKenna's got the whole scum thing going on, but the way they've played, where they've gone after games aggressively and tried to get goals, they've made a lot of goals happen, haven't they? I mean, I know like there was the offside issue and whatever, and they've got the deflection at Coventry, but they make these things happen.
Willie Nonto was offside the other week.
Yeah,
it's worth remembering that. They do go. These things do go both ways. You only remember the ones that go against you, don't you? For the most part. But yeah, well done, I suppose. Unless Huddersfield can beat them.
It's not going to happen, is it?
No.
I don't. I mean, if you had to, we've been dealing in percentage chances. If you had to put a percentage chance on that outcome, how do you genuinely feel about it now? About us going up on Saturday?
Like, if someone was offering me odds of 50-1, I don't think I'd put any money on it.
No.
Given what you bet on against Leeds as well, that's surprising.
Yeah, but that's against Leeds. If it was the alternative, if we just had to beat Huddersfield at home, or get a point to Huddersfield at home, I'd be lumping on Ipswich right now.
Right.
Because I'd be thinking, well, yeah, we can still fuck this. We definitely can. But Ipswich they'll be fine, won't they? And I mean, and it's also reliant upon us beating Southampton, which, given the way we played against QPR, is unlikely, you would have to say. But I mean, it's a new game, isn't it? It's Matteo Joseph up front, Jamie Shackleton somewhere, probably.
If he's not injured.
Yeah.
On the sidelines, yeah.
What's he done this week?
Well, it'll be one of Norwich, West Brom, or Hull in the playoffs. We've chatted a little bit about this with Phil, Rob, so we don't need to necessarily double up on that. But how do you feel about those three, and which way do you think it'll go potentially?
I mean, I was just saying to you in the office before we started recording, like, we should win these playoffs. We are the best team left in them. We've played a lot of very good football this season. And I was thinking back to when we ended up in the playoffs under Bielsa, like, we obviously, the momentum stalled at the end of that season, but also everyone was injured by that point and everyone was knackered. Like, when we did the guide to Stuart Dallas the other week, we were saying he was only in that team against Derby because Barry Douglas and Gianni Alioski were injured at left back. Whereas this season, I know we do have a few injuries, but it feels like we get in there in a better shape. I know the momentum has halted again, which is a worry, especially the way we just folded at QPR. But I look at them teams and I think, we kind of should do it. So I just want to know how we're not going to, basically. But, I mean, looking at West Brom, we've played against them twice this season and they've been absolutely awful. And yet we've not beaten them. But I sort of think, let's just get them and give them a right shellacking.
Whereas Norwich have actually looked quite good in both games and we've beaten them twice.
Yeah.
So who do you want? The team that play badly and wins, or that,
West Brom were
knock it around quite nicely.
Yeah, I was going to say West Brom were far more of a spoiling outfit, and those are the ones that we've struggled against this season. Whereas it's the ones who've tried to play, who've given us the space to play in, by and large. As you know, the record of dropped points this season kind of reflects, doesn't it?
It might not even be West Brom to talk about this because they were pretty much guaranteed, weren't they? I think when we beat Hull and West Brom were still winning games, it looked like that was all done. And now West Brom have lost 3 in a row, Hull have won a few, and it's going to the final day. So
yeah, Norwich are on a hot streak and they've got a better goal difference than Hull. So
Norwich are definitely in, but they could still be 5th or 6th.
Yeah,
West Brom,
and they go to Birmingham on the final day, which they're going to fancy their chances there. Again, because they can't afford, although they are almost certainly in much the same way that we've got to play a strong side just in case.
Well, no, Norwich will be in.
Yeah,
they will be in there, but I suppose Birmingham have got something to play for themselves. Haven't they?
Hull go to Plymouth,
who need to win.
Yeah, and West Brom have got Preston at home. Now, Preston have got nothing to play for, as we saw with the game against Leicester. Yeah, it's more than likely probably going to stay as it is, isn't it?
You would say that seems the most likely.
Yeah.
Is that that's what some supercomputer would tell us, I'm sure.
So Norwich 5th, West Brom 6th. In terms of those, then, we'll know, won't we, within a couple of days, who and what it is. Semi-finals, how would they unfold?
Well, with an away game on the 12th and a home game on the 16th.
You would fancy us to beat any of them over 2 legs, as you're saying. That's the problem. Is it's not played on paper, is it, this now?
This is where we talk about things that might or might not happen, and then you bully me into saying that we're going to win the playoffs.
You just said we should win them, though, Rob. That's completely unprompted.
I know, it's a terrible feeling, isn't it?
Do you just want this season to be over now? Is that kind of the headspace that you're in? And do we need to get out of that little funk and just... And I was saying with the show that we've done with Phil, spoiler alert, we need to embrace this one last time, ride the wave, enjoy the madness.
There will be a little reset anyway, end of the season. As much as, even if we, put in another stinking performance on the weekend, there will be a bit where you go, right, it's a new start now. Because the Bielsa season you mentioned, I know it ultimately ended in playoff defeat to Derby, but for 1.5 games there, we completely turned our form around because we finished the season looking terrible. And then for the most part of that tie, we were actually really good. A bit like this season, we've looked really good for nearly all of it, apart from the end bit where it actually matters when we've completely fucking crumbled. So that's something to look forward to.
So the playoff dates then, the away leg will be 12:30 on Sunday the 12th, and the home leg will be 8 o'clock on Thursday the 16th.
We do have the last issue of the mag coming out this weekend, and Gaetano Berardi is writing in that about what may or may not happen in the playoffs. But he kind of made a similar point to what you just made then, saying it is just another separate league and Leeds are the strongest team in there. So there should be high expectations, and he's saying that needs to come from the club, the coach, the players. So I think let's just get Southampton out of the way and everyone can just go, right, okay, here we go.
Yeah, the reset. LUFC Data has tweeted out the second tier playoff promotions by final league position rankings. So since 1990, 1991, that's the last 33 seasons, can you believe? It's been Third, 36% of the time. Fifth, 27%. Fourth, 21%. And then sixth in last place with 15%. Bring it into the last 19 seasons, so that's since 2004-05, and the figure jumps to 47% for third place. So may the odds be forever in your favour.
What are the odds of getting promoted if you get 90 points?
Fairly high. The point is, though, we were saying before in the office, weren't we? Like Sunderland got 90 points once before and didn't get promoted.
Yeah, that lost on penalties in the playoffs.
Oh, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? That's one thing I don't want to experience, penalties.
I mean, if it even gets there, I can already tell you now we're not winning that.
Right.
Does anyone in the world believe we'd win a penalty shootout at Wembley? It's the least Leedsy thing to do.
We lost one to Salford this season, so yeah, put us at Wembley. I'm not too confident.
But that's a beautiful narrative arc, isn't it? Losing to Salford on penalties. The only other time we've done. Is that the only other time we've done it this season?
Yeah.
Oh, what a turnaround!
Oh wow, yeah. I can't even remember who missed in that. Anyone?
It was Carl Darlow in nets, wasn't it? Do you remember the famous?
Oh, of course, he got the arm nutmeg. Never before seen.
Oh dear me. Well, we shall see. I guess everybody else is falling apart though, as well as the first team. The women lost 5-1 at home to Hull. Bad. The under-21s lost 4-2 to West Brom. Bad.
Yeah, not great. It was a real way of everything going wrong at Leeds United. Bit unfair on the under-21s because West Brom were playing Josh Madger up front, who's 25, not under 21, and he scored a couple and set one up.
I was going to say that's definitely older than 21.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I think so. I know we struggle at maths sometimes on here, but I think it's definitely higher. But yeah, I think Sam Chambers, who's one of the under-18s who has sort of moved up to the 21s, well, he's doing both, but I think he scored his first goal at that level, and it was a really good one as well, just wellied it into the top corner. Which
is following your advice?
I'm sort of getting in there with the coaching stuff. The first team, very much not taking that at the minute.
Well, when it comes to the playoffs, what would you tell them? What would your sort of overriding coaching advice be for this?
To score some goals for it again,
right?
Because we were doing it earlier in the season, then we seem to have stopped at a crucial point.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're at the Blackburn, Sunderland.
Yeah.
QPR, bad, very bad.
Right.
Score some goals. I'd tell Pirro in particular to score some goals, and I don't know what to do with Rutter because telling him to kick it hard seems he can't do the kicking it hard with any direction, can he?
No,
seems to just.
I think you tell him to just pass it.
Yeah.
Okay,
we'll do that.
He seems to be quite good at that earlier in the season.
When did he last score, Georgie? Feels like a very, very long time ago.
Millwall away. I don't know.
Plymouth was it? God knows.
Yeah, he needs to score in the playoffs anyway. If there's any justice to it, he'll score the winner in the playoff final. We'll get to watch him bounding around Wembley.
Yeah,
on his horse.
I was going to say, get the horse out. Yeah.
See, I can imagine him doing it. I think he's going to have a great time if that happens. He'll be the happiest boy. Would you be the happiest boy if that happened?
I mean, yeah, but I'm not thinking about it.
No. Dead.
It was this is old. It says his last goal was for Hoffenheim. That's all.
That was ages ago.
That really was a long time ago. Yeah. It did feel like that might be the case for a while, but he's not scored since Plymouth. Right. Plymouth away.
Where are we on the Willie Nonto redemption arc? Because he's just been named the PFA Community Champion for this season. Good boy. Has he? He's definitely not going to score the 27 that you demanded of him to redeem his early season transfer request.
He was on for it at one point, but I wasn't much of a fan of his holding his face, fucking crying endlessly at QPR. I felt like he should have maybe just concentrated on playing football in that one. But it's the playoffs, isn't there, to pull it round. And he is, of course, the PFA Community Champion.
Yeah.
At Leeds.
He's Leeds' PFA Community Champion. So he's only a nice lad in Leeds. But, he got a nice little glass trophy for it.
He did. He said, I enjoyed how the official website said he's willingly shared his own experiences, as if in the past people have had to force him. They've had to beat him to get his experiences out of him before. But
gun to your head. Talk now, boy.
But
Talk.
he has finally willingly shared his own experiences.
Yeah, it's a big privilege for me to receive this award. I come from a humble community, so it means even more to me because I know how hard people work, how difficult it can be, and how many sacrifices some people make. So making time for people is really important to me. So good on him. Yeah. All joking aside. It's a good thing.
Suppose. He'll be forgiven, maybe. And if not, it'll be sold. So fine as well, I suppose.
Yeah, we've reached this point on the Michael scale. Burn it all down.
Either we'll go up in the playoffs and it'll be fine, or we'll sell him in summer and fine. That's also all right. Let's have some money back.
The Square Ball Podcast.